All I want for my birthday is... Oh, hi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to John Dudley Speaks. I'm your host. Holy shit. The Alchemist, Larry June, and 2 Chainz have quietly become some of the most prolific artists in hip-hop of the last 10 to 15 years, with nearly 100 projects released between the three of them since 2010. We've received a bountiful amount of eclectic takes on modern hip-hop that has transcended culture and instead boasted artistic development. 2 Chainz went from being a viral figure in 2010's Trap with Based on a True Story and Boats 2 Me Time, but left a visceral blueprint for trap pop aesthetics with the back-to-back smashes of 2016's Danielson Necklace Dawn and 2017's Pretty Girls Like Trap Music, which is proving to be a classic at this point. And that's something that he doesn't get nearly enough credit for. Then you got Larry June, who's constantly churning out West Coast rap gems every single year, notably with Out the Trunk, Spaceships on the Blade, and The Great Escape receiving acclaim from fans and critics alike. Speaking of The Great Escape, Uncle Al, well, what else can be said about him that hasn't been? He's a maestro that's the chief architect of some of the best underground rap projects of the last decade, including Bo Jackson, Alfredo, Haram, and Voir Dire, and that's just naming a few. So what does a project with 2 Chainz and Larry June on the Alchemist production sound like in an era where the underground is receiving more and more of a spotlight in tandem with modern trap? Well, I'd say you get something entirely unique, something entirely relaxing and refreshing, with this new trio on Life is Beautiful showing that evolution is always possible in this genre. If there's anything that you can expect from the Alchemist on the boards, it's consistency, and Life is Beautiful continues that trend, with a focused assortment of instrumentals that coast on the back of the vibe that it sets. The soulful vocal samples that encase the string-laden backdrop of Money and Canyon start us out on a peaceful note before we shift into an artful take on early 2010s trap beats on Colossal, with the faded horns, the authoritative piano strokes, and the seemingly rewound processed drums that give the track an overall eerie feel. I love the slick 70s R&B tinged guitar lick on I Been, which when juxtaposed against the wall of sound choral vocals, which are sequenced heavenly, reminiscent of 10cc's I'm Not in Love, it just shows off Al's versatility. And that boom bap percussive foundation, it's perfection. Al goes nuts on the single Bad Choices, with the dizzying organ-like synths, and a sample chop that's mystifying and cutting, much like the decadent flutes on the title track that coalesce beautifully with the spare drums. Where the project does falter is on Generation, with its monotonous, sleepy direction, and the droning synth effect, and the closer is unfortunately too sluggish, with the dragging drums offsetting the impact of the glitzy melodies in the background. But when you have the funky shaft-like guitars on True Organics, you're left with a record that's full of high-minded luxury rap that only indulges in the finest tastes, especially musically. Starting with Larry June's writing on the project, I really like his blunt, matter-of-fact statements that would be like soft brags coming from anyone else, but he treats it more like slice-of-life storytelling that doesn't over-amplify the album's luxurious edge. He calls out pettiness and childish behavior from his peers on I Been, then juxtaposes that to his enjoyment of riches, really sticking to the themes of the title of this album quite skillfully. And the bars themselves are clever, benefiting from simplistic writing like on Epiphany, where he buttons a few lines in a row with active verbs, structuring his stanzas like an abstract poem that leaves you hanging, waiting for the next word, words that are underlined by brief reflections on Larry's past and his hardships. So you can tell that he doesn't feel bad by celebrating in the way that he wants. And why shouldn't he? Then there's 2 Chainz, who still peppers his bars with astute hilarity like on Any Day, where he drops a hilarious line that opens his verse. Expired tag, I ride with a lawyer, come to your residence and you die in your foyer. It's really good stuff, and it works because of its tone. 2 Chainz exudes versatility here too, where he'll be laying down platitudes on life while throwing in ridiculous, almost corny references, then just blatantly meme rap adjacent silly hooks like on Colossal, which reminded me of early 2 Chainz at his funniest. Yet 2 Chainz and Larry are able to lend each other enough runway to establish their respective perspectives early on. So many of these song structures work because they have equal footing, flexing in the manner that they're comfortable with. So maybe it's not the most innovative rap record from these guys, or their best written and it can get a little too up its own ass at times. But Life is Beautiful had one goal, and that was to demonstrate that for these guys right now, life is beautiful. Going off of what I said about how Larry and 2 Chainz balance out each other on the writing front, that sentiment applies to their mic presences as well. I think Larry's deep, commanding voice is an immediate draw in all of his work, and here that's no exception, as he delivers each word in his cadence with weight that's enveloping, yes, but still emits a peaceful vibe in terms of its presentation. Conversely though, 2 Chainz is a lot more extravagant and boisterous in his delivery, and that complements Larry for the most part, with the title track and Colossal, finding both of them being able to hold down a strong hook. LLC is a huge win in the track listing, because 2 Chainz really clicks when he's able to ride that line of laid back and sincere, with one particular line, "Man, have you ever been depressed and still crack a smile?" being uttered with a simmering roughness, mixed with a gratefulness for hardship. Generation, however, is one that could have been left off due to its repetitive hook and uninspired presence from both MCs. And there are times where 2 Chainz and Larry slow up their energy from track to track, but overall it's their distinct performances and unique interplay that makes this project such a breeze to listen to.
La única opción es hacer las ferias. Look up in the kilos.
At 11 songs and 36 minutes, Life is Beautiful reflects the sunny aesthetic from its cover by just being such a swift listening experience, as each leg of this album has something for us to grab onto, whether it's stunning production or Larry and 2 Chainz flows, and that's because it's paced and sequenced so well. The opening run of Munyon Canyon, Colossal, and I Been set the tone in all the major ways from a musical and thematic perspective, and from there this trio really runs with that. LLC, through the title track, boasts some bold centerpieces that have a ton of replay value, and though the last leg of the record suffers a bit from being undercooked, Epiphany and True Organics bring us big highs to close the record out on. So overall, I like that they emphasize tracklist effectiveness and not streaming viability and reach.
So much motherfucking money to get. Don't hit me on none of them motherfucking square shit, nigga. Straight to the...
This record is great. It's slick, focused, and benefits from its consistency and vibe, and its aesthetic, its presentation of ideas, and that's because of its central composer and artist's attention to detail. So I hope that this is a trio that continues to make music together in this vein. But hey, that's just my perspective. If you're a 2 Chainz fan, a Larry June fan, or the Alchemist fan, you're gonna like this a lot. And if you're in the market for a new take on luxury rap that positions personality in the forefront, this one's for you. Alright, that's all I got. Bye!